the much deeper history when it comes to this map, I think one of the most notable things is they took out the Nation on Fracture. And for a lot of people watching, the Nation was the Sui 2K roster, and they were formidable on Fracture. They hadn't dropped a single Fracture game. Not many teams had gotten above 5 rounds on the Nation before the matchup against Mad Lions, or as they were formerly known during that time, Dark Ratio. So this is a strong map for Mad Lions. It's not the best of maps for Disguise. I think starting on the attack, knowing the calling structure of Steel, this one is going to be exciting. It's going to start slow. It's going to get heavy. It's going to get weird. And here we are in the pistol round.
Already starts with quite a bit of a hold back over towards A. This could put quite the dent in this attack for Disguise. You see 2 players playing the Lurk right now.
Fascinate in. Clear will take a lot of space here. They're going to try for an A lobby crunch already.
I love this crunch. It's going to work out perfectly. Will is all the way out in the open. Same thing with Drone, but the 2 players, they're just taking their sweet time, waiting for the 3 players from site to push out instead. Zip, Gangsta, both getting fragged, but it's only Ainge! Ainge with a crossfire! He gets 2 headshots! Might he get a 3rd kill? I mean, he's just waiting for the cross, but he has the spike. This is beautiful from Ainge.
Gangsta on just 10 HP. He will have a fault line in at least 10 seconds, so there's a realm of possibility where he could maybe stun both these players. I mean, they're both kind of in line in front of this spike. He does have the opportunity to grab it as well, but I think a periodic checking here from Ainge is going to make things extremely difficult. Gangsta has 35 seconds left, so there is time for him to rotate it if he did want to. I don't know if the sound cue was picked up there, but I imagine they're just going to play together here, Mad Lions.
Yeah, it's just a contact here from the KJ. They have a turret here too. Again, 10 HP. You could play this as slow as you want, Mad Lions. It's just 1 bullet to the body. Just need the contact, but Gangsta, he's doing his best to isolate. That's all he wants right now. He wants a couple headshots. He wants the lucky pixel. It almost finds Ainge, but Ainge instead finds him through the wall with a headshot. 4 huge kills from Ainge to give Mad Lions the first.
It's a great start for Mad Lions. I mean, this is your map pick. Get the ball rolling, kind of feel out this map, because again, both these teams most likely have made changes coming into this week. Not maybe compositionally as we're seeing, but definitely probably when it comes to refining the really small issues. We're going to see a lot of things, I'd imagine, get kind of fixed up. Specifically speaking of that Disguise lineup where you were talking about it earlier, a lot of minuscule mistakes on that map of Ascent against the guard. What are we going to see any of those here? Because, again, emphasis on this series is that you lose, you're 0-2. We're going to keep reiterating that statement. So there's a lot to play for not just these players and this week, but just for the whole split in general. And we're talking as well further into 2023, where you're looking at circuit points at 1. So a lot at stake for these teams. And between 2 teams, Gus, that I think are some of the best right now in terms of the open qualifier lineup.
Absolutely. Here we go, actually, in the middle of A. It's just going to be Clear doing his own thing.
Big kill.
Oh, my goodness gracious. It was Gangsta coming up from behind, but you had the good pinch. That's going to be the stuff that we were actually quite anticipating from Mad Lions last week, but we didn't exactly see Clear get let off that leash. If anything, Disguised, they were all playing up quite up as a team. If anything, it was Steel being the entry, which was quite the difference. But Clear, he's been let go a bit. You see the double satchel at the beginning of the round, but now Mad Lions, of course, they're facing up against Stingers. They have Spectres. They're looking for the retake. Gangsta does get the trade back. Lots of space here for DSG, but they do not have the middle of sight. Finally, Exalt getting a frag. So much utility. These 2 players in the middle can't do anything. It's rifles. It's Spectres for Mad Lions. And not a single one of them can get anything. DSG pull it back.
We're in such a heavy, second round full buy meta, especially for these attacking teams. And Disguise play this one extremely well. It's not the slow tempo that we're used to when it comes to Steel's calling structure, but that round, that post lane in particular, Steel sets himself up for that Brim Molly, denies the spike defusal, and that gives time for 2 players to wrap out towards Sands. And when you're already at a man disadvantage, things just become so difficult because you have to split the attention, who's watching what. And that communication, I mean, we talk about chemistry between teams. I don't think it was there in that instance for Mad Lions to instantly split up their attention.
There.
And now we see where DSG did it best last week. Playing up as a team, it's that slow scale up. On Fracture, you could easily get some early map control, but they opt to stay on their spawn. But this is good for Mad Lions. Completely mitigating any sort of instant pressure that they could get. They're just playing for contact, and they're just playing for rotation.
They have almost gotten the stack right here, but this guy's kind of, I mean, they're going to very confidently walk into this site, and so Clear already tagged down to 29
Great
HP.
nade.
Again, we're looking at that head-to-head between Clear and Will. Clear being one of the big players in the last round. And it does actually kick off here with a single kill. That is a Phantom in the hands now of Will, who is at full HP, has a decent bit of util, but Clear is going to have to deal with 4 of these players. Again, a guy that we talked about. You got to watch out for this man. We'll see what he can do here.
29 HP! And Clear could have gotten so much more. But this again, DSG just chipping down the defense as they rotate. 4 players down in the spawn, 1 player isolated in spawn.
Planted.
That's also 2 rifles picked up here now by Mad Lions. And Will still has a double blast pack and a boom bot to get in. Drone not yet with the stun. Oh, very well timed Molly though here. And
they're gonna wait
for
that
the follow
Molly.
up is gonna be that fault line.
Okay, stun coming in. Gangsta can't make it out. Again, suppressed, but Steel around the corner. He might get found out by the boom bot. They got to clear that out. Steel! The off angle works out perfectly for him. He lets Gangsta do all the work, taking all the peaks, but he gets this cheeky second frag. The crossfire on site was also pretty good too, but 2-1 DSG.
Now we're gonna have these rifles out here between Mad Lions and Disguised. A reach ult available here for Gangsta. Steel's gonna have the Brim ultimate as well. Same thing here with Ainge on the other side. It just takes 1 orb for Steel to get onto the orbital strike. So some major ultimates coming to the forefront of this round
Already.
And this round is a lot more heavy on Mad Lions, especially economically, because the loss here is going to give Disguise a lot of momentum. And it looks like already Disguise playing a little bit more heavy. Tower control might be established. Gangsta can go under tunnel with the Rolling Thunder. A lot of possibilities here towards this B approach, especially with the ultimates they have online.
Yeah, Mad Lions delaying too. They have double nanoswarms on stairs. They're really just going to hold on for time for their teammates to be able to rotate. But there's a trip in their spawn too. Mad Lions, they're not finding anything back over towards Dish. They're not even pushing back towards that tripwire. DSG are waiting for anything tricky.
They are playing a pretty heavy retake here, Mad Lions. Having only just Zexro be the guy sitting on the B side. Oh, that's a risky peek from Exalted. That gives up a lot of information there towards Mad Lions. In Disguise, they haven't done too much in terms of space taking. They're going to have the Clear and Steel work up to get a lurk pick, but it goes back and forth, and now Mad Lions have regrouped in a 4-on-3.
I mean, yeah, you say that. 2 players dry peek out of spawn right into B. Clear getting yet another frag in the Rolling Thunders to confirm sight. I mean, that was literally just 2 people dry swinging out of B.
Trying to bait out this orbital strike.
30 seconds left.
They're holding it for a retake, not even to the night. The spike lands, and Gangsta is just going to barely get out of it. We're playing with 2 orbital strikes. Steel's got his for the post plan, and he is in a good position to use it as well.
If they can find that Brim's position, they might be able to isolate. They actually utilize the orbital strike to clear out tower. Amazing spray from Gangsta. How does Gangsta stay alive there at all? Will now in a 1v2 behind orbital strike. Has Clear in a 1v1. Has the showstopper in front of him too if Clear wants to use it. Will also has one if he kills him, but Clear kills him instead.
A great
Again,
round.
Disguise. I mean, you can't really explain it other than, I mean, Disguise, they had the battles they wanted.
Forcing them all the way back into spawn. I don't know if that was the initial plan, but using that ultimate, that Rolling Thunder straight in towards Defender spawn will give them so much time and so much space. And Clear just abusing the gaps and capitalizing on space, right? I mean, this round was a really big trade between Clear and Steel, right? Steel goes down, Clear's there to trade. He then capitalizes on space, giving up, recognizing the threat towards north side. And Eco here, and it is going to be Will who tries to get aggressive. The knife, I think, cancels out his ultimate. It actually might have been broken here, but Clear up top anyways. It's going to be good to find Zexro.
And they're waiting a second one too. Good smart hold. Now Mad Lions, again, down to pistols, down to stingers. Just going to see Disguise. Again, just try to work on the long term. Try to build up their economy.
They're taking it very cautiously. If Trick can get a single kill here, he will have the null command in the next round. Drone is guaranteed to have that Rolling Thunder, so we're in the middle ground where ultimates do end up becoming an important factor in a half like this. And Disguise, a team that hadn't won a single map of Fracture, they come into this with a really strong game plan. And that slow style really working in their favor. They're able to manipulate rotations like we saw in that last run. Like, as I was talking, Clear kind of just capitalizing on a lot of space that Mad Lions had given up. So this next round for Mad Lions is going to be with those rifles, and it's a question. I don't think they don't get the Trick ultimate online. They don't have the Null command, but they will have that Rolling Thunder. It's how do they implement those ultimates moving forward, and the economy built up for Disguise. Similar stature for Mad Lions. They're gonna, except for it's vice versa, they're gonna need to win this round because their economy is just not prevalent whatsoever. And yeah, Trick actually does get the ultimate.
Yeah, so they should
Placing sentry.
be going for one big take here. I mean, just with the fact that they do see the ultis in front of them. I mean, they can easily bait out. They can easily bait out these ultis.
Fast. Hold on. It looks really fast here towards the top side because you
Is
already
it
have
going to be fast?
You have a quick play in position. Will's up top with a showstopper. He can play that if he wants. And yeah, they're looking to establish this really early control, and it's just gonna be Ziff.
Yep, Ziff is gone. It's just going to be the one kill, though. They see that now. Drone has gotten the information. You have Nanostorm alongside the alarm bot in sight. The delay could happen here for Zexro. Everyone's coming back over towards Arcade, back over towards Tower. Zexro has time. Zexro is playing with space. Here we go. Could be a crossfire. The Tower player's here, but doesn't pull out the showstopper and steal instead with a double frag. Mad Lions, they still have guns. They still have position back over towards Arcade, but DSG very cleanly into sight.
And Clear has gotten into spawn as well. That Null command popped at the exact moment they hear the showstopper get pulled. And that's a free pick. Because Will is going to get caught in midair. Maybe, I think Will made a misread there to pop that ultimate in this instance. And from that 4v5, Disguise have done a really good job of recovering this round. And here is where they specialize. They slow things down. And they're just going to cause fear in Mad Lions.
I think you see the intention, though. Drone's so close. He wants to use that Rolling Thunder to be able to take out that Spike Planner. And that's what they're doing. They're faking for the Rolling Thunder. They're faking for any turns of util, but they're still going to be able to plant. Drone distracted, and they use the Rolling Thunder to retake Tower instead. Exalt is the only one that gets hit. You have a crossfire in the middle of sight. Gangsta has the angle. Exalt is now back. 2 players remaining now. One of them is finally rotating from spawn. Trick comes in on time. Has Exalt in a 1v1 right around the corner. No! Steel comes out of the smoke. What a peek from Steel. 1v2 from Ange, and he's gone. Saved from Steel.
And I think Disguise in this round had just the better knowledge of how to play around these ultimates. Right? Like you said, trying to bait out that Rolling Thunder, using that Null command to cancel out Will's showstopper, and even when in that 4v5 disadvantage, they still understand the game plan. It's okay, we gotta watch out for these ultimates, we have to be prepared for this kind of play, and they had players in position. Right? You look at the way they had that B postman, players were really far spread out to avoid that Rolling Thunder. And that resets Mad Lions here. And they're going to try very similar to what we saw, where they're going to have a stun over towards their main. Fast play here towards me to get this control. But there is no one here. Will with the hero rifle. And Disguise, they've gone towards the north side to play their default instead.
Might only catch one. It didn't catch anything.
No,
Steel didn't get caught. And with that, you get the rotation back over towards A. I mean, again, DSG. You're awaiting this slower playstyle. It didn't exactly know if on Fracture they were going to maybe change things up, take Clear off the raise, maybe onto maybe an agent that they could take more space with. But so far, they're just letting Mad Lions pretty much waltz into them. They let time go by. They let Mad Lions get into their own heads, get into different positions. Now, by the end of this round, it could just be clean once again.
Zexro does get his KJ ultimate, the lockdown online for round number 8, but this has been Disguised all over in this map, to be honest. At least in this first half, things are starting to peel away for a team that, going into this was their map pick for Mad Lions, and it's a map that they very infrequently drop. An 80% map win rate between when they were Dark Ratio and now when they're Mad Lions. So we knew this map was a confident one. We knew this one was going to be a strong map for them. But it has not been that way so far. I think the way Disguised are playing, it is an extremely difficult style to play against, especially on a map like Fracture, where 4 different choke points, and with the kind of slowness of Disguise, it becomes unpredictable where they're going to go. And you saw in that last round, Mad Lions tried to pinch that south side of the map instead of north. Because of the fact they had already done the north side pinch, Disguise, with their slow style, you group up, you play the 5-man, especially in eco rounds like that, where they're infamous for doing that. You can't you can't dismantle that kind of play because you're always going to walk into 2 or 3 players.
I mean, Dark Ratio, the success that they found on Fracture was just through that attack. Literally, I think the exact same way that we saw DSG play attack last week on Ascent, we saw Mad Lions play attack on this map. They let Zexro just go wild. They let Zexro go wild on attack.
Yeah.
Everyone else just stayed structure, and they relied on that a lot. They can't do that this time. No one can go out on their own.
It's a really different setup here for Mad Lions. They put Ainge up in Heaven Tower on the B site with a shotgun and just KG Util to play with. And they're going to put Zexro in a spot by himself. They're playing a retake here towards this A side. But they have a Rolling Thunder as well to work with. A lot of ultimates coming into this round. DSG are actually putting some acceleration into this hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the one person on site, though, taking on the Rolling Thunder. The smokes are off. The orbital strike is good. Clears away, clear. Nobody else can get into the middle of sight. It ends up taking away one. Here we go again. Exalt coming out of main. There's still one more player coming out of there. It's incredible to me that Clear is still alive. 30 HP left, and finally he goes away. This retake is fully in there for Mad Lions. They have to cover up this lockdown, though. Gangsta trying to get a spray down. 3 seconds left. Couldn't get the kills, but Ziff is in on site. A 2v1.
Oh my gosh.
Headshot. What a shot from Ziff.
Orbital
Has
strike.
an orbital strike to deal with. 40 seconds left. Ainge is in spawn, waiting for a contact. Ziff, there's no way he's getting closer. Ziff walking into the mouth of the beast. It's the Mad Lions instead that take it away.
And in a much faster round from Disguise. A much faster round. Trick goes huge with a double from Tower, by the way. His positioning to catch the players on dish to find those 2 players as well, that gives Mad Lions kind of a resurgence in that round. They can play the retake with their ults, they can play the retake, and they can play the post plan as well with Ainge's orbital strike. Mad Lions able to knock on a second round, at least keeping their economy afloat, but unfortunately, with only 1 player walking away from that round, they are still economically struggling. And Disguise, once more, are doing a very similar approach, this time on the B side. Another fast look in towards B.
And they see the economy too. This is another opportunity to actually reset Mad Lions. TSG needs this round. 2 players currently holding up on site, but this is way slower from DSG.
He walks forward. Ainge gets forward instead, but Clear, they had that read. You tell the Clear out just in case.
I mean, this has to be the push in now. Nobody flanking. They're going to have that Brim up soon. Ziff is just trying to clear up for Zexro, but again, no smokes up just yet.
This is so crazy. Yeah, no smokes, and they're not even committed to sight. Steel was hoping that someone would push down A, but no one does. Now the smokes are coming out, and Ziff just catching Trick out in the open.
Look at the amount of control they have right up until the point they get the smokes up. Finally, they take sight with full tower control, full stairs control. It's only 2 players remaining here, but this is the Disguise that we wanted to see. This is the play calling that we wanted to see. An investor flawless for Disguised.
It's start fast and then slow things down, which is what Disguise are always good at. And we're not seeing those very apparent mistakes where there's no trade, no one's swinging together. This seems to be a well-oiled machine. Everyone's positioning makes sense. All the util they're throwing makes sense. And Mad Lions are having an incredibly hard time combating that kind of play style. Another eco for them here. They're going to try and set Will up for another north side crunch. This time he's going to come from Dish. And similar to how Disguise counted the last crunch, they're just going to play towards the bottom part of the map where nobody is.
It's this, for the last 3 hard anti-ecos, or at least ones where Mad Lions had pistols, Disguise have just stayed towards one side of the map. Just wait. Just wait. And it's working out now where Mad Lions have 4 players crunching up the top side. They hear the TP, or the tripwire, excuse me.
Yeah, and they will know that that's going to be there at least was an attempt at a crunch towards the north side, so they're going to accelerate, take the site control. I don't think there's much here to write for Mad Lions. They only have a single Stinger and a Sheriff.
Yep, should just be trying to farm ult points or just trying to die at the very end. I mean, both have the exact same objective. DSG almost doing the exact same thing. That's why some of these players are hunting Ziff. He had 3 ult points left, and he gets all 3 of them in one fell swoop. Ultimate going into the next round, an investor flawless.
Back to back.
Okay, Disguise. This map could be over, but just this next round.
That's really scary to think. Again, Mad Lions, this is your map pick. And this is probably one of your last full buys. Next round is, well, you're obviously going to force up next round, but this is the
Yeah,
last
he's gonna use Spectres, right?
full rifle round you're going to have here. Spectres and probably Stingers. So a loss here puts probably Disguise in a position to go 10-2. They're going fast here into the B's site. No question about that. Maybe they ramp things up, get a pick, slow things down like they usually do, but they will send Clear very far out. He has been so instrumental in these rounds, getting deep into spawn every single time here on B. And they have switched up the setup here for Mad Lions. It's Zextro instead in tower, and Trick to try and deal with that pressure from Clear.
Yeah, and Trick. He has one ult point left. He gets a kill here. He could use that ulti to try
Big
to
pick.
hold this down. And indeed, he gets the frag. He is suppressed. He has to wait a little bit until he can actually utilize this ultimate. This is very, very good for Disguise still. They're in on site. And Ziff, the lurker, does get the kill onto Zextra. 4v4 now.
You have an orbital strike here and a null command to play the retake. And they are again trying to ban out all this util. First comes the aftershock, and Trick, still good for a second, has his null command as well. This gets tricky here for Disguise.
And the knife still going out. Trick, no, not. He actually utilized the ultimate right before he goes down. Good timing. But Ziff, good spot. They're actually pushing that smoke even more.
Trying to
3
fight the
players
orbital
from
strike.
Mad Lions, and they're just stuck in their spawn. Again, no plant though. They have time. They're chilling for now. 35 seconds left, and they do not check their flank. Huge kills coming in. Mad Lions go down to 1v3 now. Low HP. Drone has a little bit of a chance, but he has the wide swing out of the orbital strike. What an ulti from Steel, and an even better round from the rest of DSG.
Such a well-played round from Disguise. Again, these like late-round adaptations, I think, are where Disguise truly, truly shine. Is the way they're able to stay calm and composed. And losing 2 players, by the way, to Trick in a 4v3 again, they still decide, okay, we're not able to be out this orbital strike, let's put pressure. Steel gets up close. Clear's initial plan from his entry was to get close. And Mad Lions not able to deal with it. Last round of this half, and all they've really got is one single Vandal. This round becomes incredibly difficult, and this has been Disguised all over this first half.
Yeah, and I mean, you see the setup on A. They're trying really anything to give themselves a boost in this round. If Will gets any sort of contact, he can instantly use that showstopper. And DSG completely evading that sort of setup. Slow once again. The lack of information always leaves DSG at this sort of pace. It's methodical.
Mad Lions are scared to take that control now. Alarmbot's going to reveal that this is a focus towards Arcade. 2 players still are going to work that part of Tree, but Clear's going to go in first. The showstopper does get the kill. Oh, no, it's not that. It gets the kill. It's instead the nade. Good trades coming through, and Will's going to have to try and act quick.
Yep, Will with 2 players right in front of him. And
That's
Ziff
just
comes out of the
ridiculous.
smoke to take him down. Good peek from Ziff. It's pretty much over now, right? 1v4?
This has just been a ridiculous first
Spike
half from
planted.
Disguise. Like, I can call and say Clear has probably been the key player in this first half, but man, it has just been
Everyone.
systematic from Disguise. They are taking Mad Lions to another level of fracture, and it's not one that Mad Lions have ever experienced before. 10-2 in the first half is a devastating scoreline. Regardless if you want to look at the minute map statistics of what side is better for Mad Lions, it doesn't matter. 10-2 is still devastating, and they go 50-50 most of the time in their first and second halves.
Yeah, I was more intrigued on how the retakes would go down for DSG, but when your defense is this good, when your shift around the attack is that good, always leaving the attack just enough space for you, or excuse me, leaving the defense enough space to then be able to capitalize. I mean, it's just good stuff from Disguised. Mad Lions now, though, on the attacking side, need to win 11 rounds in a row, or 10. Take it to overtime.
One suppressed.
Bastard play here from Disguise and towards A main. And a slow creep up here from Mad Lions over towards B. This attacking side holds a lot of promise.
Flash.
A 10-2 is a difficult scoreline to come back from. And so Mad Lions accelerating now in towards the B site. The tripwire might actually not a kill, and it does. 2 big frags already from Disguise.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 people on site and no coverage from the spawn clear. Exalt coming out, 3 players coming out, and it's Steel with a double. I mean, there you go. You needed that if you're Mad Lions for a chance in the second half. And DSG have just swept the rug away.
Yeah, there was hope. I mean, they're much better on their attacking side against the Nation. They won 9 rounds out of the 11 played on their attacking side. That was in the second half. So Mad Lions are a team that is pretty good at making attacking halves work. But I think given that scoreline and given what we have now, it's almost impossible to see them coming back through this. 5 Stingers is what they're going to be working with. And there are already 4 players here on the A site. Are they just going to try and barrel it in? Because there's a stun, there's a nade, there's a molly, there's a smoke ready for this guy to contest A main.
Dude, how are there 4 people on this side of the map completely calling them out? Here we go, though. Knife alongside the fault line to try to clear out this corner. And it might just work. Nobody else is clearing. The trades could come in for Mad Lions. Again, keyword could.
Holy.
But instead, it's DSG. 3 players with the crossfire. 4 players, excuse me, in the middle of main. No chance. Zexro. I could try it, whatever. DSG. Already thinking about that next map. Again, Fracture. A rare map for these 2 teams, but for the fact that Disguise have never won this map, I mean, this is a decent change.
And we're again seeing your critique of, or Steel's critique of, this felt like we weren't together. We didn't have the right, you know, we weren't trading properly.
It was Steel's critique.
Felt a little uncoordinated, and it does not feel uncoordinated here. This feels like a Disguise that is on another level right now against Mad Lions. One last full buy and another attempt at an A hit where there's once again, I feel like I'm watching the same round as what we just watched. Like, it's deja vu. Same knife goes out, the same contest, the same slow start. This time it's gonna be a stun.
It's the same fault line, the same knife, and this time the same satchel doesn't actually miss its mark. There goes Will taking down Steel. Zextro coming out of ditch. Again, the exact same position. Exile does get the trade, but this is way better. 2 players going down. And now a big chance in a 3v4. Potentially Mad Lions might have sight.
Ooh, the spray from Exalt. I don't know if it was his spray that caught Will, but it did damage. No flash. I mean, you're up 12-2. I would have the confidence to take this kind of swing.
Oh, yeah, Will is there. What a spray down from Gangsta. Right through the wall, but again, low HP for Will. 2 players remaining. Ange has a molly to work with, but it's his teammates are currently in main. No molly under Trick either. Ange really just has to hold on to his sight. It's all in his lonesome. He does have a crossfire. He's waiting up for that cross. Ziff. Okay, that's a perfect cage. Isolates the battle against Ange. The 2v2 now as Ange goes down. The crossfire's down. Okay, cage goes down. Gangsta waiting for the 1v2. Can just defuse down to half, but the Cypher, no way! No way, Gangsta! Finishes off the map with a bang!
And in 2v1 fashion, Gangsta is going to pull out map number 1 there for Disguise. I mean, I think even if, and that's a big if, they had won that map there, or that, apologies, not that map, that round, I don't know how the rest of this series would go. Would we have seen a comeback? I seriously doubt it. Disguise from top to bottom in this first map played exceptionally well, and there were no questions about, or there were questions, I have to say, but there were none after this one. Okay, are there mistakes going to be made? No mistakes here on Fracture. They can keep this up. I think Disguise here, we were hoping this was going to be a gigabanger, but the way it's shaping up, it looks like it's only going one way.
For now, absolutely. I mean, Pearl coming up next. It's Disguise's pick, and after that we have Ascent, where they have a 90% win rate. The future is looking not so bad for Disguised, but again, Mad Lions, they faced this sort of adversity last week. The maps where they ended up losing, they ended up putting up double digits, and we just didn't see that in this map. We need to see that form come back, and Mad Lions, again, for the future of this tournament, they need this win because they face the 2 best teams in their group for the next 2 weeks. So let's see what happens after the break again with map number 2.